name is Ala, and today we will talk with Eduardo about his experience of volunteering in India. So please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone. Hi Hala, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Eduardo Cardoso. I'm Portuguese. I'm 25 years old. I decided to apply to the European Voluntary Humanitarian Aid Corps within the European Solidarity Corps. And I was lucky to be selected to an opportunity. And since September 23, it's now 8 months that I'm serving at OSPA NGO, working in the fields of climate change adaptation and development, social development. It's a hard question because India already left a huge symbolic mark on me. I would say my choice about India was because I really wanted to confront myself with a big challenge. And that's what really happened. So I would choose challenge. I would choose humanism, conformism. My first wow moment was in my first work in the field in a remote place in rural Odisha. Where I first observed the living conditions of the communities we are working with and see that they are extremely vulnerable in social and economic terms. So I would say that was my first initial shock.
And how did you find out about this volunteering opportunity initially?
So I was already looking for experience, as I told you, in international cooperation, volunteering abroad in a developing economy, a middle-income country. So I was already aware of these opportunities, especially European Union opportunities. And then, during my research, I was almost finishing my master's degree. I found that the applications were open for the European Humanitarian Aid Program, and I just applied. I also, during my university, I organized some. I was kind of a student representative, and I organized some activities and awareness about opportunities to do volunteering. So I was also always very interested in European Union opportunities of jobs, internships, volunteering. So I think in university, through some networking, I got to know this opportunity. I came to India with the goal of working in climate policies and climate change in general. Because during my studies and also my previous work experience, I found a big interest in sustainability policies, green transition, climate change adaptation. So I found this opportunity when I was applying. I found that OSPA was working in environmental projects and climate change adaptation, and also disaster risk reduction. During my interview, I found that there was opportunity to collaborate in the implementation of a climate-resistant seeds funding program that organization was implementing in the rural areas, and I found it very attractive. So I became interested in working on that, and in my first months I was engaged more in that program. After a while, me and my colleagues kind of observed that there was a huge gap between this practical adaptation work to climate change that was being done by this kind of state government schemes. So we were giving tons of climate-resistant seeds to the farmers in rural Odisha, but we found that these communities weren't well aware or informed about the why and why this increased the resilience or why they should alternate their paddy and rice cultivation and cultivate these pulses. So we found that there was a huge gap. So we decided to gather efforts and start a complementary project called Safer Odisha, which we found, me and another colleague we found together, that is addressing the same rural communities, the same group of farmers, both women and men, by assisting them in the design of local adaptation plans to climate change at the community level in a participatory approach. So basically, I would define my functions as project management related to the climate resistant funding program, and then climate change adaptation by facilitating these meetings and implementing the Safer Odisha project.
Maybe you can share some of your results?
Yes, sure. So OSFA it was already interacting with hundreds of farmers around at least around 5 different districts of the state of Odisha. My team from Safer Odisha, from our project, we decided to focus on 2 districts that through our scientific research we discovered that were more prone to climate disasters and climate impacts on the agriculture. So we focused and initiated the pilot edition of our project in 3 different blocks. Blocks here are a subdivision of the district, just to explain. Anyway, we already have engaged in the process more than 300 farmers from 3 different villages. And for the resources that we have, human and budget resources, I think has been a great achievement. So yeah, we are now finalize now the needs assessment phase. So the assessment of the main problems and impacts that climate change it's imposing on their livelihoods and mostly on their agricultural activity. And now we are initiating the phase of adaptation planning, which is discussing the solutions with the community. What are the priorities to address some specific needs that they identified before. So we are also enrolled in this phase in the pilot target areas. And after this phase, we will proceed with advocacy actions near the most relevant administrative and political structures of the state to advocate for the priorities that the farmers and these communities highlighted in the adaptation plan. To stay motivated, because it's for the volunteering. We are all young professionals, or we just graduate now. We are full of expectations, and we should. I advocate that people should have good expectations. Otherwise, we lose a lot of energy to bring change for the communities. Anyway, I think the biggest challenge is to be our own captain. And at the same time, for example, now that is summer, we are working with extreme temperatures of that the thermic sensation is like almost 50 degrees. It's crazy. Anyway, we can cope with that because I would say 80% of our work is in the office, is in project management. So when we go to the field, we try to go early as possible or in the hours that the meteorological conditions are better. And in terms of the food, I adapted well, and I will be a huge fan of Indian food for the rest of my life. And in terms of communication, yeah, that's also a big challenge. In the cities, we can find the majority of people speak English properly and in a good way. But in the rural areas, they speak local language. Be ready to an impactful experience. Left the judgment at home in your house, and bring a lot of energy. Yeah, I would say proactivity, resilience in all the aspects of resilience, in personal terms, in professional project management. For example, we are our own project managers of our own projects, so a lot of autonomy work, communication skills, even the fact that there is a huge language barrier. Here you will develop other parts of communication, the body language, visual communication, everything can work, especially in the field. Personally, I achieved my expectations. I feel proud of the work we did until now. It's not finished. The project we created will continue and will be more localized, will be continued by local and both international volunteers. So in the end, I feel that we achieved a lot in terms of capacity building of the team we are working with and the local staff. I'll just say to try to enjoy more the moment, because now that I'm in the end, it feels like 9 months weren't enough. I had a lot of fun because it's also necessary to have fun, otherwise it's a very big challenge and we need to distract ourselves. So first, I would say try to do a comprehensive research. It can be in the internet. All the information is there about the particular region you are going to and be settled in. Try to, as I said before, left the judgment and the non-productive criticism in your country. Because it's really important to have a collaborative approach with the host organization, with the local people. The scenario and the context is so different. We need to help each other, even if we see that something is not that ethical or not that correct. The only way to improve it is by being collaborative and to try to show a better example how to do the things, and not just to criticize and be against everything. Otherwise, things will not change. And there's a huge impact that any volunteer can have. It's come to these local organizations, try to see also in the internal terms what can be changed, and try to, in a very leading by example, and show that if the things are done in a better way, and people will understand and then can adopt those more sustainable strategies or more humanistic strategies.
Totally agree with you. And that's it for me. Thank you very much for your time. I think in this busy schedule with your project, and really wish you even more bigger results.
Thank you so much.